So guys, this video is sort of going to be something that's less up my alley, is because I am not one to be reviewing white products, white keyboards, anything like that. I haven't really, my setup is just black and gray. So this keyboard that I purchased is white, and it's sort of out of my way to buy something white. But when I saw this keyboard, the design just was really attractive with this brushed aluminum finish here. It looks very premium. Now we'll get into how it feels in just a moment, but it looks and it feels like it could totally be up on par with something like a Razer or a Corsair keyboard. I've typed on both of those. I don't own any, but I have typed on them. So this keyboard, as I mentioned before, has Otemu red switches, as you can see here. And another amazing part of this keyboard is that they are removable. Yes, these are removable key switches, again, and for the price, which I'll get to in just a moment. This is just astonishing, because this keyboard is just like, it has a form factor, 75% layout, I believe that's what it is, because 77 keys. We're just missing our numpad on the right side. But like, this keyboard is just like, for what the price is, it's just astonishing. It's the same thing with what this one was. Now again, we are lacking some features on this one that we were on the Super Scholar, which is to my left here. So, let's get into the features of this keyboard. First thing first is, as I mentioned, we have the removable Otemu red switches, which this means that I could easily switch this out, and I will actually demonstrate this, is I can switch out this key switch, just like this. As you can see, I just pulled it out with this puller right here. I'll show you guys how to do that. All you do is when the switch is in place, you're just going to want to take this and then pull up, and it might take a bit of wiggling, and it will come right out of its PCB, which is right here. You got 2 pins right here. So that's basically how to remove a key switch, if none of you knew how. But what's really cool is this PCB is compatible with any other 3-pin switch. Now, if you have a 5-pin switch, that means that we have 2 extra stabilization pins on the side. Now, if you want to buy a cheaper keyboard like this, and then switch it with this, and then switch the switches with a switch that is, that was a tongue twister right there, that is 5-pin, you can just clip them off with wire clippers. It's very simple, very easy to do, and it does not harm the switch at all. But what I am going to show you now is just that this actually does work, because right here, I have a brown switch, which is also made by Otemu, so I'll go ahead and take that out of this keyboard. Here it is right here. I just took this out of the escape key position on the Super Scholar, and all I'm going to do is line up these pins with this socket, line it up, and then snap it into place, and you'll hear it click, and there we go. Now we have a brown switch on a red switch keyboard. You can go ahead and put the keycap on here, and brown switch installed. So as you guys can tell, I am definitely a really big fan of hot swapping key switches. This keyboard does indeed come with an extra 5 Otemu red switches. I did not buy these on the side. These just came with the box, and it came with the 2 pullers, as I mentioned. So another feature of this keyboard is that it has full RGB backlighting. Now, I wouldn't call it full RGB, although that is what's specified in the Amazon listing. Each key switch only has one color. So if I do plug this in, which I'll show you guys later in the sound and typing demonstration, each row of lights has their own color. I believe this one is red. I believe it just goes red, orange, yellow, green, blue, like that, and it just goes all the way down. I'm not entirely sure, because I've only had this keyboard for about a day. I just typed on it for a little while, so I could be making this video for you guys. But the RGB backlighting, it does have multiple effects. It can, as you can see here, we have L1, it stands for light 1, light 2, light 3, and it will allow us to change lighting effects. You hold the function key over here, we can change those modes over here as well. These right here, mode, we can change the direction of the lighting, left or right, and then this is speed, right, and then right here, this is brightness. So we definitely still have a decent amount of functionality, but if you are somebody who cares a lot about RGB backlighting, you may want to not consider this video. But for me, because I am not a stickler for RGB backlighting, and I am one who puts on these non-shine-through keycaps, which I definitely prefer for the typing experience and just how they make the sound and feel, altogether. I definitely do not care as much about RGB backlighting as I'm sure a handful of you guys do. I have nothing against it. I'm just saying I do not care about it as much as I know many of you guys would. So another feature of this keyboard is definitely just the build. I mean, I wouldn't call this a feature, but the build is actually really sturdy. Like, as you can see, I cannot flex this thing at all. It is a solid alu plate all the way across the top. And then we got a hard plastic, I believe this is PVT on the bottom with these, whatever these are supposed to be, designs. Flip this back over here. Now, the typing experience on this thing, really great. I definitely have enjoyed using this keyboard for the time I've used it. It's just been a ton of fun typing around on it because of the smoothness of this. And I have typed on cherry reds. My cousin, as many of you know, Alex Eats Apples, his YouTube channel, you guys should check him out. He's pretty cool. We hang out all the time. Really great guy. He has a Corsair keyboard. I'm not sure the exact model, but it has cherry MX reds. And from what I remember typing on, these are actually a lot smoother because they aren't as gritty as the cherry reds are. And I know many of you are like, well, we always are just calling these knockoff switches instead of cherry switches because these are not. And I don't think Otemu is going for knockoff because they're trying to bring more features that cherry doesn't. As you can see, like, we got dust resistant sides here to reduce wobble as well, hot swap sockets, all that stuff, which is really cool and all. So I wouldn't call it a knockoff of a cherry switch, although it's sort of what Otemu is doing. But yeah, these are definitely a lot smoother than cherry reds are. But a problem that I have is the sound. Sure, this keyboard is a cherry red, and it is like a cherry red, excuse me. But when it bottoms out, and again, this is something to do with the assembly, if you guys can listen closely, you'll hear, if you hear the ringing, that is because there is a lot of hollow space inside of this keyboard. And I actually brought up this problem with this keyboard as well. And this is just a problem I've been finding on a multitude of budget keyboards, just like this one. This is my Red Dragon K551 Vara, I believe. This is the most popular keyboard on Amazon, and I'm going to be doing a review on this keyboard very soon. But this keyboard also has this exact problem with the resonance in the that's just this metal plate here. Now this has the least amount of that noise, and I think because of how just sturdy it is, this keyboard is literally a tank. But I will be bringing up some problems and why not to get this keyboard in my next video. So stay tuned if you guys want to have a review of this keyboard. But as I was saying, this keyboard does have the same sound with the resonance in the assembly of this keyboard. So back to the Z77. Why I think you should get this keyboard is definitely because of the price, which now I will say, it is a whopping $33, which is sort of just shocking for what this thing offers. We got backlighting, we got mechanical switches that are red, and most of the keyboards that are at this price only offer blues and the occasional browns, like this keyboard here. This keyboard also is offering it has really great build quality besides the noise, which is the only thing I dislike. And again, we have a little bit of stabilizer rattle, which is something I was incredibly impressed with on this one again, because here it is lubricated, which is just astonishing for the price which I paid, which this one is $46. It is slightly smaller and it's much more compact. It's just a compact version of this. But this keyboard is definitely a really, really great buy if you are looking to get into the mechanical market. And I know many people that are getting into mechanical keyboards are going to choose the blue switches in what Amazon would recommend to them, which is most of the time an Otemu blue switch, which is from Red Dragon. Their keyboards are definitely great, but please stay tuned for the next video that I'm uploading before you go out and buy a Red Dragon keyboard. This keyboard I have totally enjoyed using, and I totally think you should buy it. The only downsides that I again have is the noise with this resonance and then a little bit of stabilizer rattle. But the typing experience and the lighting is just, it's really great. And the build quality is just amazing for just what this keyboard offers for the price. And again, we can fix, as I said in the last video, I'll link this one for the E-Element Z-78 in the description, or I'll put it in a box up above. You can fix this problem by simply just unscrewing this top plate, taking out the PCB and this top plate here, putting in just something to fill up the hollow area, and the sound will be gone. And it'll definitely make the typing experience just feel a lot better all around, just because of just the sound, for me, again, is very important. And these keys are just great, besides that leftover noise, which is my only problem. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Just so you know, typing test will be right after this outro. But I am really glad that you guys came to check out this keyboard. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.